Dolphin discs are still in business online, and you can buy from them at essentialirish.com.
Now, an EU directive banning discrimination based on gender means that women will soon be paying more for car insurance. But is it fair?
Well, here to tell us more is CEO of Chill Insurance, Padraig Lynch. Good to see you, Padraig. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning.
I think last time I saw you, we were both standing under an umbrella, and that was a couple of months ago. This is a directive that's been handed down by the EU because the girls have been getting cheap insurance for a long time.
Yes, over the years, statistics have proven that females have fewer claims, and as a result, the premiums that they were charged were lower.
Is this an example of an EU directive gone mad, though? You know, especially when you have the statistics to back us, the ladies, up.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with you. It's gender equalisation legislation that insurance was excluded, and that was challenged in the European courts, and they upheld that insurance companies cannot use a different price for a male or a female.
So what's going to happen now?
So what's going to happen now is, because the females were, by statistics, the better drivers, unfortunately it looks like their premiums are going to increase.
OK, so our premiums are going to increase and the male premiums are going to come down? That's the plan?
Yes, you would hope that the male premiums will come down.
Do you think it'll happen?
Yeah. Well, the market is very competitive out there. There's lots of providers. There's probably in excess of 15 or 16 providers. And I think that competition should police it and ensure that consumers get the right price. And, you know, somebody like a local insurance broker that should be able to deliver on and make sure that the consumer gets the best price.
OK, now, I, like many other males, were celebrating when we heard that, you know, the prices are going to go in line. Whether it's fair or not, we just thought, well, it's going to go in line. We just thought we were going to get the same quotes as the girls were getting. But instead, the female prices are rising as ours are falling. But outside of gender, where you live in the country will also determine your premium.
Yes, there's a number of factors that affect the premium that the insurance companies charge. And the area you live in, if you live in Dublin, you'll probably be inclined to pay more than if you live down the country. Again, it's all driven by statistics and the number of claims that come in versus the premium that's collected. So somebody in the west of Ireland is more likely to pay a lower premium than someone in Dublin
a city area?
A city area, yeah.
And what advice would you give out there to people who are planning now on renewing their insurance for next year? Because this is coming in December of this year, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
What advice would you give people for shopping around to get the best bargain? Yeah,
well, the advice I'd give people is there's going to be a lot of uncertainty about pricing in certainly the first 6 months of the year. Insurance companies, they have their own ideas of how they'll change the rates for males and females. Then they have to see what the competition is doing. So it's definitely, the advice is shop around. There's lots of providers out there, and probably the advice I give to the consumer is go to the insurance broker, because the insurance broker will give impartial advice and will give them the choice of all those providers.
And how much more can women expect to pay?
That's the magic question, and it's very hard to know. And I think if people go to the broker, go to the company, shop around, that will ensure that polices it. And then to look at what they're insured for, that they may change. They may have drivers on their car that don't need to be there anymore. They may look at reducing their cover from comprehensive to third-party fire and theft. So there's lots of ways.
There's another way that somebody made me aware of that. If you know, way sometimes initially, if there has been any kind of a prang or a bang, that you're liable for the first X amount. If you increase that and say, well, if in the likelihood that I do have an accident, if I take, say, twice what I'm insured for at the moment, my premium will come down that way. If you're a safe driver, that's something you can entertain.
Absolutely, that's available out there. A lot of insurance companies offer that option. It's called a voluntary excess.
Okay.
And you request that, and some of them can go as high as 4,000 or 5,000, but you can take a lower 500 or €1,000, and that will reduce the premium. Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's just move on to health insurance, because we know money is tight. A lot of people are now opting not to have private health insurance. They simply can't afford to be paying it.
Yeah. It is a problem out there, and I suppose the problem is we all have less disposable income, and at the same time health insurance costs are rising all the time, and it's a big problem. The advice I'd give to people is if they can afford it at all, to hold on to the health insurance. And my suggestion would be that they set a budget and then talk to an independent advisor, such as a broker, explain to them, this is the amount of money I have for health insurance, and be guided as to what can be included or excluded for that money.
So you think it's absolutely necessary to have it?
I do. I think that the public health system at the moment is strained, and if more and more people leave the health market, an already strained system is going to come under more and more pressure. And rightly or wrongly, the benefits of the private health insurance is that you will get seen quicker.
Yeah, well, yes, you're absolutely right. Whether it's right or wrong, that is the reality of it. But there are a few health insurance providers, so again, you can shop around.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these providers are beginning to give choice, so you can include some type of cover or exclude it. So my advice is set the budget and see what cover you can buy for that budget, because different people will have different requirements, younger people with kids to retired people.
And there's a lot more competition in the market, of course, now.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have competition there between the companies.
It is scary when you think there's been a fall off of something like 61,000 people in the last 12 months with health insurance.
Yeah. It is quite frightening statistic, and all those people are going into the public system, which would lead you to believe that that will become under more and more pressure. So the strong advice would be set a budget and see what type of cover you can get that suits your requirements, as opposed to going for a plan that's already there. You tell the advisor what you want.
And is there much room for manoeuvre with that? If you say, look, this is all I have, I cannot spend any more than this, but I want, you know, A, B and C.
Yes, there's definitely there's different options and different plans. There's private cover, and there's cover for scans and cover for kids, whether you include kids or that. So definitely the advice is have a look at the plans, identify what covers are relevant to your family, and then try and build a plan around the budget that you have there.
Okay, so do your homework, negotiate and shop around.
That's it.
All right, thank you so much. Now don't forget, if you have missed any of the programme, you can catch it online at tv3.ie/3player.